Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be working out Chapter 3, Question 12, and it's like an ATM machine type thing, and you have to, we'll read the question. You have to make a debit method to be able to let the user debit from their account. So I'm going to show you, like I did in my last video, what it looks like at the end, and then we'll go through it and work through it step by step. So when you're done, you should have an account test class and an account class, and when you run it, it should do something similar to this. So when we start out, it works the same as if you it works the same as the program from the book, but we'll run through it. So the user can deposit money, so I'll deposit $10, and then account 2 I'll deposit $5. And now this is the new part. It's letting us withdraw from the account. So say from account 1 I try to withdraw $50. Right now it's at $60. Now you can see it's down to $10. And I'm going to try to over withdraw account 2, and I should get the error message that it wants us to get, the debit amount exceeded account balance. So let me try that. So say I withdraw $15 from an account with $5. It's going to keep the $5 there and say that the debit amount exceeded the account balance. So that's what your program should look like when it's done. Now I'm going to work through it step by step. Almost like question 11, you're going to be starting with these two classes, and it's going to be coming from Figures 3.13 and Figures 3.14. Figure 3.13 is on page 89 in the textbook, and Figure 3.14 is on page 90 in the textbook. So you can get those two pieces of code there. Like my last video too, I already copied the code over, so I'm going to go ahead and make a new project. So I'll start BlueJ again. I'll create a new project, and this one I'll name $312 example. And then we're going to start off by making our two classes, so the account class and the account test class. I'll start with the account test class since that's the main one. And then we'll open it up. And like we did before, you can clear all this beginning code. And like I said too, this code that I'm going to copy in is straight from the textbook. So as long as you copy from the textbook, you can put it in here, and then that's where our starting point is going to be, just like on question number 11. So this is Figure 3.13 in the textbook, so I'm going to copy it and paste it in here. And like on question 11, I just removed the comments from here. That's the only difference between this and the textbook. And then I'm going to make my second class, the account class. And again, I'm going to clear this out, and we're going to paste in the code from Figure 3.14 from the textbook. Okay, so now I have my two classes, and we can begin working. Let's review the question one more time. Okay, so the question wants us to make a method called debit, which can withdraw money from the account. And it also wants us to ensure that the debit amount does not exceed the credit. And if it does, it wants us to give them an error saying that the debit amount exceeded the account balance. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the account class. This is the one that whenever you make a new account, it's going to create this for it. So if you have multiple bank account instances, it'll make, the balance for each one. That's how in this main file we have account 1 and account 2. Unlike the question 11, where we only had one instance, which was my gradebook. This one has two instances, so there's two accounts here, account 1 and account 2. And each account is going to have its own information. Each account's going to have its own balance. And so this file here lets us edit those accounts and create those accounts. So you can see here we have the credit method, and now it wants us to make a debit method. So I'm going to enter down here, and this is where we're going to start our debit method. So credit is putting money into your account, and debit is taking money out of your account. So we're going to start that right now. So to do that, I'm going to make a new method called debit. And remember, whatever's in these parentheses here is incoming information from this main document here. And all that means is whatever the user wants to debit from his account, that number will show up here, and it'll be called amount. So that's how we can deal with it inside this method. Okay, after we're in here, we have to think about what happens when you debit an account. So you're subtracting from the total balance the amount that they wanted to withdraw. So we have our total balance here called balance, and we need to subtract the amount. So what we're going to do is we're going to set balance equal to the current balance minus the amount that they want to take out. So it's going to take, say they have $10 and they want to subtract 5, it's going to say the new balance is equal to the old balance, which is $10, minus $5, and that's going to set balance equal to 5 now. So if I did this and I added that method into here, it would run fine. The only problem is this question wants us to tell it if it exceeds the amount, and if it does exceed the amount, not to withdraw from their account. So we got to do an if and else statement here to make that happen. So inside here, we're going to make an if statement. And what are we checking for? We're checking to see if the amount they want to withdraw is greater than the current balance. So that's all we have to do. We have to type in that mathematically. So if the amount, which is what the user types in that they want to withdraw, is greater than the current balance, then that's going to over withdraw their account. So I can put a comment here for reference that over withdraw. And then if it does not over withdraw, which is an else, then we want it to debit their account. Just like that. So right now, if it over withdraws their account, nothing's going to happen. There's just a comment in here, so nothing's going to happen to the actual balance. If it doesn't over withdraw, the balance is going to change to the new balance. So we're still missing one thing though. We still need a way to prompt the user that they over withdrew their account, or they tried to over withdraw their account and we told them that they couldn't. This I don't think was explained in the book, so I kind of made up my own way to do it. So I'm going to do it, and it works for me, and it gives you the final result. So I'm just going to show you how to do it that way. What I did is, because this is a void statement, you can't return information back to here. So if you were to type in the string here, the return and then the message you wanted, it would not show up over here. So what we got to do is we got to make a variable that's set to true or false, whether or not they need the error message that they tried to over withdraw their account, and then this file can run a different method that can display that information. So that might sound a little confusing, but we're going to do it, and then it should make more sense. So up here we're going to make a new variable to hold whether or not that the error message should display. So I'm going to make a new private variable, and just like how this is double and there's integers, there's also one called boolean, which is spelled like this, B-O-O-L-E-A-N, and all that does is the same thing as like a double or int or string or any other type of variable. The only difference is boolean can only store two values, either true or false. So in this case it works great for us because that's all we need to store. Either they need to receive the message or they don't. Either it's true or it's false. So Boolean can only be set equal to true or false. That's the only thing it can be. So don't let it scare you. It's an easy thing. So right now we'll set it equal to false. So when the program starts, it can be set to false because we don't need an error message unless this happens right here, this over withdrawal, unless it happens. Then it'll set it equal to true. But right now we can just set it equal to false. And I need to name it, so I'm going to name it error message to be easy. So it's set up the same way as we set up like this double right here. We can just set up the Boolean, and then instead of just making it not equal to anything like we did the balance, I'm just going to set it equal to false. And then after we have that, now we can use it inside this method. So remember what we said, if it's over withdrawn, we want the error message to show, so we're going to set error message equal to true. And then if it doesn't over withdraw, we want to keep the error message at false so that it does not display for the user. Now that that's there, one last thing we need to do in this file, in this class, is when they create an account, so this is the constructor right here, this is what makes the account, just like what made the gradebook, we need to put in here that we have error message now. And whenever they construct a new account, it should automatically be set to false because right when they make the account, there's no reason for the error message to be true, so we're just going to set that to false again, like that.